What up, guys?
How you doing?
Don't drink and drive. Let me tell you this story. When I was 17, my dad was out of town, so I was staying at his house, to have some independence. And in the garage, he had like a Mercedes 500 SL convertible. He had a BMW 740 IL green. Two beautiful cars. I think the one had a V12 engine in it. The other one had like a V8. They were both rocket ships. So like I was hanging out at his house, driving the cars, not going to school. My buddy worked at a convenience store, so I would give him, cash at school or whatever, and or wherever. I gave him cash, and then he would just leave the beer like by the back door. He's like, "Yeah, just pull up to the back door. I'll leave it unlocked. Just open the back door. It's right there." I was like, "All right, sweet, dude." But I was the only one cutting class because, like, I don't know what was wrong with my friends, but they didn't feel like doing that. So I was cutting class, staying at my dad's, drinking, just being a complete idiot, dude. Just a complete idiot. Just consumed by lust. And everything was cool until I ran out of cigarettes. And when I ran out of cigarettes, I had to call. Oh my god. I shouldn't be lying. I had to call my sister, and I was like, "You got any cigarettes?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I need some." So, long story short, she told my mom that I was drinking and driving, and then yeah, my mom called the police and said, "I'm worried for my boy. I just want him to be safe," or whatever she said. So all I know is that I ran out of cigarettes. So I called my sister, and she's like, "Yeah, I got some. I'll come over or whatever." And when she showed up, it was not to give me cigarettes. It was to try and steal the keys from the car. Like, I guess while I was driving it, or she was trying to get me to go home or something. I don't know what the hell happened, but she ended up like, I picked her up or she came over or something. She came over and didn't have any cigarettes. And I was like, "All right, well, let's go get some," because, So we're driving down this dirt road toward my house. And I passed the house, and I kept going. And about a quarter mile from the house, in this off this road, off the side road, there was like a stop sign there. And as I rolled by that intersection, there was like 5 or 6 cops all standing, like on the like leaning on the stop sign, like all right there next to the stop sign. And when I rolled by, I kind of looked over and I seen them all, and I thought, "What the heck?" And they looked at me like they just saw a ghost, and they all sprinted toward their cars. And when that happened, I went into fight or flight mode, and I was like, "What the? Whoa!" Like, I didn't expect that. What the hell's going on? So I floored it, and it was like right when I floored it was right before like the biggest corner on the road. It's a big enough corner where there's a sign telling you like corner. I nailed this corner doing like, I don't know, 50 miles an hour, something, 40, 50 miles an hour. And when I came out of the corner, my sister was not in the car anymore. And I literally, as I'm straightening the wheel, like after the corner, I straightening the wheel out, I heard a door shut. Like I heard a car door shut. So I looked over, and my sister's gone. She was in the car. So I look in my rearview mirror and I see her standing up, like getting up from the side of the road. And I was like, oh my God, okay. All right. So, like, I went toward the city and I went off the road and found like this little hiding spot, like dipped underneath the road. It was perfect. And I stayed there for a minute. And then I seen them snooping around, and I just felt like they seen me. So I moved before they moved. So they might not have even saw me, but I pulled up out of there. And next thing you know, I'm heading like out of town, and they start following me. So I get up to, this car had a V12 engine in it, and I wanted to get to the highway. So that's where I went. I went to the highway, and the only reason I ran too is they were never even close enough the whole time to see my license plate. So I was like, if I could just get away, just ditch this car, everything will be fine, and yeah, I got on the highway and I got top speed 150, and the difference between 130 to 150, it can't be explained unless you've experienced it yourself. Like, 130 is easy, anyone can drive 130 miles an hour, but as soon as you add another 10 to that, add another 20 to that, as soon as you see something, it's you're on top of it. It was nuts. But I think it maxed out like 152, 153. And when I was on the highway, a 2-lane highway, the semis, I encountered 2 semis that were driving side by side. Like, they heard on the radio what was going on. So as soon as I got close enough to see they were side by side and they were not passing each other, I got in the center lane, hovered right over the dotted line, and just started flashing them lights, honking that horn, letting them know, hey, look, you move or I die, period. I guess that was my thinking, right? And yeah, they moved. I drove right between them. I think I lost a mirror or two, like a side view. And that's when I decided I had to get off the highway. So I got off the Milan exit in Michigan. And as soon as I got off on the exit, every city cop they had in the town was just sitting there waiting on this street, that street, this street, that street. And I got off the highway, and I still think about it to this day when I come to a stop at the stop sign there to turn right when I'm coming off the highway, because you don't have to stop, because when you're turning right, a brand new lane opens up, like a right lane. So like, you're completely safe to not stop. You could just pull up and just go. I came to like a complete stop and then turn right, but still they were never even within a football field of my car. I was so far ahead of them the whole time, and that pissed them off. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So now I'm going through town. I ended up getting over 100, probably 110 miles an hour through town. And then I got to this part of town I didn't know, and there was railroad tracks, and I seen the sign. So I was like, all right, well, I better slow down a little bit. Slow down a little bit for that. So, all I remember was I hit railroad tracks, and I seen that like the road made a 90-degree right or a super hard left. And in front, like if you kept going straight, which is where I was heading at 100 miles an hour, there was a telephone pole like by the road, and then there was a house like 30 feet off of the setback off of the road. So basically, when I hit the railroad tracks and I saw that I had to turn, I hit my brakes to slow down, but nothing happened. Like nothing at all. So I assumed that all four of my tires were just airborne off the ground because of because I hit the railroad tracks going so fast. So I didn't even hit the car. I think I cleared. If you guys saw the distance, it would blow your mind. But I was airborne for a long time, and when the car landed, it landed like in the people's grass. And I decided to miss the phone pole because I knew that's instant death. That thing doesn't move, not even a hair, not even a hair. You're taking 100% of the energy, so you're probably gonna die. So it was the house or the pole. So I chose the house, and yeah, I was on the phone with my girlfriend the whole time. I can't imagine how terrifying, traumatic that was for her. I'm sorry about that if you're listening. Yeah, and then after that, I hit the house doing like 100, and then the whole car filled up with smoke, right? And forgot I was on the phone. As soon as after I hit the house, I just remember kind of coming to, and I had my seatbelt on, and my arms kind of hurt, and the car was full of smoke, so I had to get out. I couldn't breathe in there. I needed to get out. So I opened the door, right, and got out. And as soon as I did that, I just took a few steps and I laid down, face down on the ground because I knew they were about to be there any minute, and I knew they were probably not going to be happy, and I knew that my best bet was to literally play dead. So that's what I did. I went face down, and I went ragdoll. They showed up. They started like touching, moving, trying to talk, say this, say that if you hear us. And I'm just like, screw that. Not saying a damn thing, dude. So they basically, eventually, like the ambulance people got there and they rolled me onto a stretcher. So the cops, like, it was great. They didn't abuse me. They didn't cuff me because they literally probably thought I was dead. I was plain dead. And so they put me on the stretcher, put me in an ambulance, and then they take me to the hospital. And I'm thinking, all is cool, right? Cool. I'm going to the hospital, so I guess I'm not in trouble. My dumb ass. So yeah, when I got to the hospital, there was a cop there the whole time that had to like walk with me and stay with me. And as the second I was cleared, I went with him. So that was news to me. I didn't know that. So then, yeah, I got to jail. Spent like 2-3 days in there. Got, bailed out, bonded out. Had to go to court. And then that's when they said, okay, 4 years of probation, tether for 6 months, and, and that's it. And if you do that, you'll have no record. Everything will be good. I didn't make it through that. I made it through like a year of that. So then they sentenced me for like probation violation. So basically got sentenced for the fleeing and eluding, which carried up to a 5-year in prison sentence. And when I went to court that day for sentencing, the person before me was sentenced for drunk driving for their third drunk driving, and they received 20 some years in prison for the penalty. I remember that. 20 some years. I don't remember if it was 20 or 25. 20 some years for drinking and driving. And then he called my name, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I stood up there, and they sentenced me like 6 months in county jail. And when I got in there, I got on, trustee where you're doing work in the jail, and I got an early release, so it wasn't so bad. It was kind of like a summer camp. work out, play chess, play cards, play euchre, play spades, watch movies, read books. It wasn't so bad. The worst part about it, being in a room with 59 other men at night and a guard. One guard, 59 other men, all snoring to a different rhythm with a different sound. That's the worst part, honestly. Better off, like, I don't know, you're better off working out at night so you get so tired that you just pass out. What was I saying? So, yeah, I think that's my whole story. When they took me to jail the first time after coming back from the hospital, they took me into this one guy who was super pissed because he was trying to frame it like I threw my sister out of the car. He even tried to charge me with attempted murder. So when I first got in there, he brought me in a tiny room, screaming down my throat, oh, I'm a punk, and he chases people, and he chases professionals, you know, stolen cars, and that I'm nothing, and like he literally was so bent out of shape, like his ego. And I was like a 16-year-old kid, like 17, and I'm just sitting there like all like 140 pounds. Like, this dude is just going at me for a couple of minutes. And I just sat there and took it all. And then they showed me the police report, and it said like fleeing and looting, attempted murder, something else. I was like, what? Attempted murder? What are you talking about? And they're like, oh, you threw your sister out of the car. And I'm like, no, I did not. Like, I took a corner, and like as soon as she saw I was about to bang this corner, she like literally just reached out to grab, to brace, and to grab for anything. And she ended up grabbing the freaking door handle, and it was a left-hand corner that I took. So as soon as the weight of the car shifted, she shifted to her right, hand right on the door handle, so the door opened right up, and she just dumped out, which was obviously a miracle, right, guys? Because what would have happened if she stayed in the car? When I hit a house doing 110 miles an hour, I sent blocks from the foundation of these people's basement, like, I don't know, 100 yards probably, back into this, like, woods area behind their house. Like, the impact was insane. And their people were asleep in their home at, like, I got the police report. I'll have to pull that out one day and we'll read that. That'll be fun. But yeah, the people were upstairs in their beds, sleeping. This nice old couple. And as soon as I hit the house and I got out of the car and laid down on the ground, I heard them like open the upstairs window and were like, they were like talking to me, asking me if I was okay. I remember seeing them. So they were like talking to me after the accident. Oh, and the only thing wrong with me, I had a bruise on my shoulder bone from the seatbelt, and my arms, like right here and right here, were completely like red from the airbag came out, and like the airbag will mess you up. So it messed up my, like, a little bit of a burn on my arms, but that was it. Other than that, I got out pretty much unfazed, untouched. So yeah, that was crazy, but lost my girlfriend because of it. Parents wouldn't let me see her after that. Go figure. Right? Go figure. What terrible parents, right? No. Plus, I mean, she was going off to college, to Michigan State, so everything worked out according to God's plan. It's funny. A lot of things that are part of God's plan, not part of our plan, not part of our plan at all. So, this video is already way too long. Oh, my neck hurts. Oh, God. Oh. Love you guys.